What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to talk about one of my hilts. I'm going to try, every time I do one of these videos, I feel like I'm being conceited and I'm talking about myself. But I really wanted to talk about this one because this hilt is a special hilt. So I wanted to put a special chassis and install in this one, right? So this is for a Grifs custom lightsabers Mark V, right? So in my previous Grifs Mark 7 video, I mentioned this hilt and the history behind it and how I received this one, right? So this hilt is very special in that it is one of the first hilts that I did a custom chassis for. It was one of the first commissions that I ever charged money for. So this hilt has always been a really special hilt to me. It's been a grail for me, right? So I've always had my eye out on the secondhand market for one of these, but they're very hard to come by. Brad from Grifs Lightsabers does small batch runs of these, so they're hard to come by. They're very highly sought after hilts. So, but I happened to very graciously get my hands on one of these. So I wanted to put something very special in it. I wanted to do like a crystal reveal in this one. So that's what I went with. This particular one already had like a halfway chassis. It was like part of a chassis and a crystal reveal, like a brass crystal. It was a goth like modular crystal chamber in it. But I wanted to design something custom for this one. So I did do something that I did do my own crystal chamber for this one, but I had to make a few compromises, right? Because of how thin this nipple is up here. And because I wanted to maximize the amount of crystal chamber I had to do something a little different with the crystal in this. And I will talk about that right now when we come into fusion, right? So without further ado, let's come into fusion. All right, so here it is. This is the chassis. A lot going on in this one, okay? So let's start at the bottom. This is a speaker pod setup, right? So there's room in the pommel of this hilt for a 28 millimeter speaker. So I know that I wanted a 28 in this. So I had to go with a speaker pod setup. This circle down here is for a pogo pin set. This is from Smuggler's Outpost. So this is the female end of that pogo pin set. I do have Tierfon Orbital in Arbesh at the bottom here on this cap, and that cap is just kind of glued in place after I wire everything up. My negative battery spring sits in this holder. I don't think I put any accents on this one, right? So on both sides, I just did heavy greebly work on both of them, okay? This whole chassis was printed in SLS nylon. Really, really happy with, or I'm sorry, I did this in MJF nylon. So I can get a lot more detail in MJF than I can with SLS. So I'm really, really happy with the amount of detail that I got on this one. Up on the upper part of the chassis, I did do two rectangular LEDs. So there is a blue and a red LED that have their own blade in the config. Profi board does sit up here in this tray, and we have a kill switch right here, okay? So let's talk about this crystal chamber. All right, so a lot of people were asking about this. Somebody actually said in the, like on Reddit that this looked like a glue stick. It kind of does, actually. Now that that person said that, I can't unsee it. But there is a reason why this looks like this, right? So the upper emitter section of this hilt has a very, very thin neck, okay? I really wanted to maximize the amount of crystal chamber that I could design for this, okay? So initially, I was actually gonna bring all of my leads up through these tubes that come up the back of this crystal chamber, okay? Making this 90 here was just too tight. There would have been no way I could have made this 90-degree angle inside of this crystal chamber, and there would have been no way I would have been able to fish those wires past that. I probably could have lowered this crystal chamber a little bit more and done that and made like a nice 45-degree pipe to bring my wires up, but I wanted to really have a tall crystal chamber in this one. So I compromised and tried something a little different. I've done something like this in my mom crystal chamber. This is actually a resin tube, okay? I bring all of my leads up through the center of this crystal, all the way up to the top of the emitter and the switches. Around those leads down here is an 11 neopixel accent ring from stock. That's how we light that glue stick. Okay, I can't unsee it now. Thank you, Reddit person. So yeah, that's why that looks like that. I actually tried modeling some crystals that were hollow through the center, and they just didn't look good to me. So I thought, in my head, I called this a plasma tube, but now it's just a glue stick. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I am happy with how the crystal chamber came out. I got a significant amount of detail on this one. It is a relatively short crystal chamber compared to some of the other ones I've done in the past. My gauge for all my crystal chambers now is the Ocularis chassis that I did. I mean, that crystal chamber is absolutely massive. So, but yeah, I'm happy with how this one came out, and I really wanted to get something special in this one. This entire chamber does secure to the bottom of the chassis with some rods, and I'm fine with that. And that's it. So that's it. That's all we have. Oh, and the entire chassis does secure to the upper part of the hilt with a set screw. So that's it. Let's come up top. Okay, so here it is, the Mark V from Grifs Custom Lightsabers. So this grip is like such a unique grip, right? Such a tactile feeling grip, grenade sections everywhere, heat sinks. It's just such a cool looking hilt. I wanted to put something really, really special in here, right? Such an awesome looking pommel cap. Just a cool hilt, okay? So, yeah, sorry. So let's talk about the chassis. We'll take the grip off. Obviously, there's a battery in this already. So there is that crystal chamber with the glue stick reveal. There are those two blinking rectangular LEDs. You turn this off so that it doesn't get washed out on camera. So I'm really happy with the amount of detail that we get in MJF nylon. I really, really like that. I love the tactile feel of MJF. That crystal chamber came out great. I weathered the crystal chamber. At first I was concerned that I would see my wires coming up through the center of this plasma tube. So I made sure to heat shrink or I've got a shrink tube around all of those, a white shrink tube, just so we don't see them. Okay. And that's it. Got my battery in. Speaker pod is in the pommel. And then we're ready. All right. Let's come down to the bottom. That is such a great hilt. Great sounding hilt. All right. So I've got some pretty cool fonts on here. I do want to show off. I do also want to put a blade in this. So let's put a blade in it. I'm going to dim the lights for this one as well, right? But we do have a handy dandy knurled set screw up here for the blade, right? So I'm going to put my blade in, tighten my set screw, and we're ready to go.
Peace is a lie.
What else is going on here? Oh, this is like a Predator soundtrack. All right. What else we got?
Luigi.
I don't know why I put that on. I have no idea why I put that on here.
White.
See what else we got.
Stardust.
Man, I love having a short blade.
Dissonance.
So this is Dissonance from K-Sith. Great sounding font. One more.
I came to warn you, Jedi.
It's a great feeling, Hilt. Man. All right, so that is it. That is the Mark V from Grifs Custom Lightsabers. Just, you know, really, really fortunate and glad that I get to have one of these in my collection. I wanted to put something really, really special in this one. And yeah, we went with, or I went with, a crystal reveal, right? A custom crystal reveal. So that is all I have. If anyone has any questions about my process or anything really about this particular build, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you for watching.